Mirongo, the Ngatia duality resolving power and knowledge in the age of decentralized science. Actuate token and the architecture of distributive justice. What if global health begins not in policy rooms, but in the rhythm of your own footsteps? In this article, I explore Mirongo, the Ngatia Principle of Duality, the wisdom of the mosaic pavement that teaches us progress is born from friction, endurance and balance between challenge and triumph. This philosophy now animates the Boston Marathon for Global Health 2027, a movement designed to actuate human potential across the world. You do not need to be in Boston to participate. The Global Health Marathon invites runners, walkers, and advocates to move wherever they are on Earth. Every mile run locally becomes a step toward global health equity, scientific sovereignty, and distributive justice through the Actuate movement. Run in your city, run in your village, run on your campus, run in your neighborhood. Wherever you are, your movement matters. Join us in transforming endurance into equity and footsteps into global healing. Civilizations do not collapse from lack of intelligence. They collapse from the misallocation of it. Knowledge accumulates in one place, power in another, and the distance between the two becomes the fault line of injustice. This is the paradox PLO Lumumba names with clarity. Africa possesses knowledge without power, and power without sovereignty over its knowledge. The Actuate token is designed to resolve that fracture, not rhetorically, but operationally. Actuate is not a financial instrument masquerading as justice. It is a grammar of distributive justice, a way of translating knowledge into capital without corrupting its moral weight. In George Gilder's language, Actuate is a supply-side revolution for the mind. It releases trapped intelligence, formalizes creativity, and restores meaning to capital by rooting it in human ingenuity rather than extraction. Knowledge as capital, not charity. Hernando de Soto taught the world that poverty persists not because the poor lack assets, but because their assets are invisible. Actuate extends this insight beyond land and housing into a more potent domain, knowledge itself. Africa's laboratories, universities, clinics, communities, and innovators already produce value. What they lack is a system that recognizes, records, and rewards that value. Blockchain becomes here not a fetish of technology, but a stoic tool of order, a ledger that disciplines chaos without denying it. The Actuate token formalizes tacit knowledge, converts ideas into assets, and allows innovation to circulate as capital. In Stoic terms, it aligns logos, reason, with praxis, action. Knowledge ceases to be an orphan. Mirongo and the resolution of duality. At the heart of Actuate lies Mirongo, the Ngatia Principle of Duality. Power and knowledge have long been treated as adversaries. Power governs, knowledge advises. Power commands, knowledge critiques. This separation has proven catastrophic. Power without knowledge becomes tyranny. Knowledge without power becomes lament. Mirongo teaches that opposites are not enemies, but engines. Like the mosaic pavement, black and white tiles interlocked. Movement requires friction. Actuate does not abolish power nor romanticize knowledge. It integrates them. The token resolves duality by encoding knowledge directly into power structures. When research, data, education, and innovation are tokenized, they no longer beg power for recognition. They become power, measurable, tradable, enforceable. This is not the suppression of one tile in favor of another. It is the walk itself. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius did not flee constraint. He converted it into discipline. Actuate applies the same ethic to economics. Resistance becomes traction, and constraint becomes governance, solving the mysteries of capital. Again, De Soto identified 5 failures that trap societies in poverty. Actuate solves them anew, but at a higher octave. Missing information is addressed by recording African knowledge on-chain. Capital conversion is achieved by turning intellectual output into collateral. Political blindness dissolves when ledgers reveal abundance. Historical amnesia is corrected by leapfrogging directly into decentralized systems. Legal fragility is bypassed through smart contracts that recognize truth without permission. This is not disruption for its own sake. It is restoration, the formal recognition of what already exists: virtue, power, and the Stoic discipline of wealth. The Stoics warned against confusing virtue with weakness. A harmless system is not a just one, it is merely incapable. Actuate embraces this realism. It builds capable justice, systems strong enough to enforce dignity, flexible enough to distribute value, and disciplined enough to resist capture. Knowledge, when denied expression, mutates into resentment. When integrated, it becomes sovereignty. Actuate domesticates the beast of ambition and assigns it purpose. Innovation is not suppressed. It is governed. The Boston Marathon for Global Health 2027 embodied philosophy. If Actuate is the architecture, the Boston Marathon for Global Health 2027 is the embodiment. A marathon is Mirongo in motion. It is suffering and purpose braided together. Every runner learns the Stoic lesson firsthand. Discomfort is not failure. It is instruction. Endurance emerges not from denial of pain, but from its disciplined integration. By aligning Actuate with the marathon, the project anchors abstract justice in human physiology and moral effort. The blind physician-scientist running with a guide is not symbolism. It is ontology, knowledge and power moving together, dependence without diminishment, strength expressed through coordination. The marathon amplifies Actuate by translating its philosophy into flesh. Endurance mirrors capital formation. Slow, cumulative, irreversible. Friction becomes proof of work. Value earned, not granted. Completion signals finality. What is built cannot be unseen. The race becomes a ledger written in muscle and will. Distributive justice as a living system. Actuate is not isolated. It belongs to a broader justice economy, alongside Mumbai, Token Brick, Action, and the Economic Justice Token. Each addresses a tile of the mosaic. Actuate redeems knowledge. Mumbai redeems care. Together, they complete the grammar of justice. In this system, laboratories become engines of sovereignty. Education becomes capital formation. Science becomes governance. Communities become shareholders in their own future. This is not aid. It is self-governance encoded. Walking the mosaic. Mirongo teaches that stagnation occurs when one refuses to walk, when one clings to light or wallows in darkness. Actuate walks. It does not flee the tension between power and knowledge. It sustains it. It converts friction into forward motion. George Gilder once wrote that true wealth arises from faith. Faith in ideas, in people, in the future. Actuate operationalizes that faith. It bets on African intelligence, not as charity, but as capital. It recognizes that the most valuable resource on the continent has always been invisible, and decides, finally, to make it sovereign. Only the whole can govern. Only the integrated can endure. Only those who walk the mosaic can build a future worth inheriting. For more on how to participate in the marathon, please visit https://actuate.bio/Boston2027.